Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. So you might have heard about this in the news, but recently Amazon put on a half-day webinar event called Career Day, and they're looking to fill, get this, 33,000 open positions for executive and tech-related roles. Now that's not counting all their warehouse jobs. I'm talking about kind of a higher level jobs. And also the average pay of each of these roles will be $150,000 US. That's salary, stock-based compensation, benefits, all of that, 150 grand. Amazon stock is up 77% over last year, and they've already hired more than 175,000 people to staff up during the whole coronavirus pandemic just to help meet the surging demand for delivery. Now, personally, I love hearing stories like this. It just proves that it's not all doom and gloom right now during this pandemic. There's opportunities out there. There's people, there's companies doing incredibly well. And if they're doing well, it just proves that it is possible to be doing well even right now in this moment in time. So every time that I catch myself complaining about the state of the world and how, things are more difficult here and everywhere, I remind myself that's not necessarily the case for everyone. And I've got full control over whether it is the case for me. So while things are certainly more challenging now for a lot of people, and I'm sure that includes you too, you and I, we get to make a choice on what we focus on. All the bad news, which the media will happily serve us minute by minute, we can focus on that, or we can focus on the opportunities which are being created out of this. And believe me, there's a lot of opportunities right now. Clearly, it's possible to be doing very well even in these times. Anyone who refuses to be a victim and stop complaining. We just need to figure out which industries are doing well, where the opportunities are, and then how do we get in on them? So let's talk about some practical things that you can be doing right now. Number one, I think the most important thing that people have to be doing right now is continuously upgrading their skills. So I'm talking about online courses that you can watch from home. Now, of course, I'm somewhat biased. I've got strivecourses.com, but there's a lot of platforms out there, some much better than others, but there's a lot of different options for you. And what you want to be focused on are courses which are going to teach you skills that even during a pandemic or something similar like this that's going to happen in the future, that skill is going to still be valuable for you. It's something that you can do online from home for these big companies, whether it's Amazon.com, Google, all these tech giants and thousands of smaller companies. They're hiring people online. And if you have these skills, the kind of skills that they need, then you've got peace of mind. This is something you can do at home from your computer as a job, and you can earn decent money with it. But you've got to learn the skills first. So that's going to take some time. That's going to require that you put aside at least an hour a day where you're watching these courses and then you're actually going and doing the skills. So for example, let's say you wanted to learn how to edit videos, which is something that I talk about often. So if you got one of my courses on strivecourses.com about learning video editing, currently there's over 150 video lessons. Some go for about 5 minutes. Other longer lessons go for 20 minutes. There's entire webinars there. There's a lot of content. But if you just go through the content passively, you're not going to learn the skill. You're going to be watching the course. So you watch 10 minutes and then you go and apply. You watch another 10 minutes, then you go and apply. So whatever online courses you invest in, you've got to be practicing as you go. So the second thing I'm going to suggest is pick skills which are pandemic resistant, because I don't know if there's going to be another pandemic. We don't know that. But what I think we can all agree on is that the world is going to be gun shy for quite some time. And I think at the very first sign of any other breakout anywhere in the world, if they detect someone's got a new potential virus at some airport on the other side of the planet, I think that everything's going to contract very quickly, specifically in that region. So I think things will open up and then they'll contract, and that's going to go on for quite some time. So if you have skills that you can do anywhere and that remain in demand, even if there is another pandemic a few years from now, it's just a layer of insurance for you and your family. Now, in my own case, if I was relying on the hotel industry right now and in the last 6 months, things would have been very bad because the hotel industry has been wiped out. So having online skills, having a way that I could actually have work online and get compensated for it, it's been very valuable for me. And I'm saying it can be valuable for you too, but you got to learn the skills. So the next thing you can do is get ready for the big upswing. When things open back up, it's going to happen fast. I think there's so many people just chomping at the bit to get back out there, to get back to work, to go back to traveling, and for things to just go back to normal. That I think it's all going to move very fast. I think people are going to overcommit. So the smart people right now, they are preparing. They are putting in place the foundations for when that big upswing comes, and it's going to come. I believe early 2021, it's going to come back strong. Number 3 is be vigilant on what you're consuming. Right now, it's so easy to just get sucked into all this negative media, and that's because you and I, people in general, we prefer to watch negative news, bad news over positive news. We can't help ourselves. We're attracted to those kind of headlines. So you've got to be really strict with yourself and very disciplined not to spend way too much time doing that. I've told you this before, but when this whole pandemic happened, I was spending hours a day just watching the news constantly, and it pulls you down, it affects you. So even if you're scrolling through Instagram or you see some article on Facebook, you go and read it, and it's all about this doom and gloom and how everything's bad right now. That affects you. You know, that's going to carry forwards in the next few hours as you're trying to focus on your work. So you've got to have a diet when it comes to consuming media, and just do it in very small doses. I've basically tuned out all negative news. I'm just focusing on my own thing. I'm focusing on Strive, and that's what I recommend you do. Just focus on things which are going to move you forwards in life right now. Okay, so that's it for today. Hope you got some value out of that. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow.